Talk about a guy who's quick. We're really pleased and honored to have a guest right now. We're joined by the great Aaron Judge. Hit 62 home runs this year for the New York Yankees. Aaron, thanks so much for coming on Let's Go with Tom Brady and Jim Gray.
No, Jim, Tom, thank you very much. Excited to be on here. Excited to talk some shop. And hopefully, I'm going to take a couple tips from you guys, too. You guys got something special that you guys have done over the years. So I'm excited to be here.
We've had a lot of fun over the years, Jim and I, and we've had a lot of great guests on. And obviously, Jim's been, in sports for a long time. I've been in sports for a long time. And there's nothing better than seeing kind of, in my view, players in other sports that, really accept what comes along with, the success. And, you're in a big market in the Yankees and, you continue to defy the odds. So really happy for you and all your success. And obviously you've got hopefully a long career ahead of you. It's going to be up to you to see what you do with it and how you take advantage of it. And all the decisions you make over the course of time will all add up to, the level that you can reach. But it's really been impressive to watch you and your humility, even through this season. And, just an MVP caliber season. We know how all those votes go and all that. But I always feel like, did you do the best you could? And from my standpoint, watching you, you were amazing this year. So congrats and good luck in the postseason, too.
Oh, thank you very much. And like you said, like those little, every day those little pieces add up. That's one thing that I always kick myself at the end of the year, when I look back on the year and how it went, I'm like, man, you know what? How many at-bats did I give away throughout the year? How many at-bats in April and May, early in the year when you're still trying to figure out your swing, get your body right? How many of those did you give up? And this is one of the goals I had was like, doesn't matter if it's April 1st or if it's October 1st, don't ever give an at-bat or a pitch or anything up to that guy on the mound. And just having that mindset to kind of lock me back in that, hey, you may not be feeling well. Well, guess what? There's, 30 other guys on this team that don't feel well. There's 30 guys on that team that don't feel well. Like, suck it up and, how mentally tough can you be to just kind of block everything out and just, get ready for this pitch. That's one thing that's definitely helped out a lot.
Aaron, how are you handling your name right next to Roger Maris and particularly Babe Ruth? We talk to Tom all the time because he's mentioned as the GOAT. And he's had some time now to get used to of Montana and Unitas and all the great names being next to him, but it still kind of hits him in a way, and I'll let him speak to it, hits him in a way where he doesn't think it's him. How are you dealing with that aspect?
Well, it's a shock, because, those are the names you mentioned, Roger Maris, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joey DiMaggio. The list goes on and on. These are guys that, you see all around Yankee Stadium. You see them with their World Series rings, their World Series championships, and you're like, there's no way I could, those are legends. Like, those are Yankee legends, baseball greats. How could I ever be mentioned with those guys? I'm just starting my career. I'm just only a couple of years in. What are you guys talking about? So it's always a humbling experience, being in the same sentence, being mentioned as some of those greats. But it's, like you said, it's tough to get used to, because I'm Aaron Judge, a kid from Linden, California that, wakes up every day trying to, help the Yankees win a ball game, so I never, see myself as, someone up there with Babe Ruth or Roger Maris. So, but it's, it's something I never take for granted, that's for sure.
Tommy, advise him how to handle that going forward, because everybody interviewing him is going to mention it and everybody talking to him is going to think it.
It's that approach that he says he stills him, when you look in the mirror every day, what do you see? And, Aaron sees himself. And he doesn't see what people may, this is kind of who you remind me of, or these are the people that you're, being, compared to, and it's the best way to do it. You wake up every day and you look at the person in the mirror and you go, did I give it the best I could? And if you did, you're usually very satisfied with, kind of what you become. And if you didn't, then only, you got that person looking right back at you that know that you cheated yourself. So, I've always felt too, and I looked up to those guys who really inspired me to play football at a young age. And growing up in the Bay Area, NorCal kid, I grew up with the Niners as my team, and to watch Joe Montana and Steve Young and just to see how they, kind of brought the success of that organization, brought this community together. That community still loves the game of football because, there was so much success. And I think Aaron, just continuing on the Yankee legacy, and obviously being in Boston for 20 years, I saw it firsthand. And, I was at World Series games in 2001, the 9/11 year I was at, I think game 3. I just know what those rivalries are all about and what the meaningful characters in those rivalries are. And Aaron mentioned a few of those, and now he gets to be part of that tradition. But you still feel the humility of where you started because you are who you are. You haven't changed. Aaron, I'm sure, hasn't changed. If he has humility, which I know he does, he looks at himself like a high school kid going to try to prove himself every day, going, man, I got to go out there and I got to do my job and I got to work hard and I got to, or else I'm not going to be, this person that lives up to his own expectations. So he is who he is because of the characters that define him as a person, as a player, and as a teammate, not what other people may define him as, which, it always feels good when you're internally motivated. And the only way to have the consistency that he's had is to do that and to hit 62 home runs and to still have humility. That's a personality trait. That's a character trait. Those things aren't going to change in him.
Oh, man. That means a lot. And it's one of the words you kind of hit on there was just doing your job. And it's funny, here at Yankee Stadium, before we go out to our dugout, we have a little sign that just says, just do your job. And I always kind of tap that on my way out to the field, just as a reminder, like, I could have been over 4 the night before. I could have been 4 for 4 the night before, hit a walk-off, whatever. Well, guess what? That's all over with. Now, when you step on this field, you got to do your job. If that's me making a play out in the field, if that's me moving a runner over, if it's, me just picking up a teammate to just strike out, just doing little things like, hey, that's part of my job. Just go out there and do my job. Everything else is just BS. Just go out there and focus on one thing. And, that's, for me, what kind of builds championship teams.
Aaron, you just resolved a mystery for us. Belichick got this from the Yankees. Because
really?
he has that same sign on the door that Tom saw 4 million times.
Yeah, but he's got a 4th word. Do your bleeping job. And it's usually said in a tone which isn't, he had a unique way with his own tone, which I got used to over the years. But Aaron's right. That's what it is all about, showing up and doing your job. And that's what makes great teammates, too. I'm sure when all those teammates see Aaron go out to the field to do his job, everyone's excited that he's doing it for the Yankees because, the person batting in front of him, the person batting behind him, they're all excited that he's in the lineup because it means they're going to get a lot of good looks, too. So those are the best teammates in the world to have.
Jim Gray with Aaron Judge and Tom Brady right here on Let's Go. Aaron, you've managed somehow to keep this team aspect alive through your individual accolades. What does the 62 mean to your teammates? And how do you transform that now as you get ready to go into the postseason, all of that good feeling and goodwill?
Oh, Jim, I think it's something special, not only to me, but my teammates as well, because they've been through this journey from the start of the season, to the end of the season, the last, 2 games hitting 62. Like, they were with me the whole way, So I think, as the season got on, I started getting closer. I could kind of feel, I wouldn't say it was tension, but just anticipation from my teammates of, how excited they were, how much they've been grinding, how much I've been grinding with them, and to share that experience with them, it was definitely a relief, once I finally got, the 61 and 62, because I could just feel it because they wanted something special to happen. And, I was trying so hard to, do it for them, just knowing what they've been through with me. So, I think once we, got to 62, won our division, now we're at the fun time of the year. And this is where we go out there and, have fun and, we're prepared, we're ready to go. And just enjoy these moments because, very few teams get an opportunity to play in October and get a chance to represent the New York Yankees in October. So I know I'm excited. I know all my teammates are excited too. This is going to be a fun year, that's for sure.
Obviously having such an incredible year and, now on the brink of free agency, I was certainly wondering what it would take to get you down here in Tampa to be a tight end for us next year. So as a free agent, it looked pretty good to me. The way he runs, the size, the catch radius, the power. I mean, it could be something that we could be onto. I know you're a great high school football player. I think, obviously baseball turned out pretty well for you, but I don't know. I think maybe this dual sport athlete we might have to look into.
Hey, we could get a nice little split contract. You know what I'm saying? We could find a way to work this out. You just give me some looks in the red zone, and then I can go off and hit some homers. After that, we'll figure something out. Something out nice. That's for sure.
How are you going to deal with the salary cap? You have a salary cap in the NFL, Aaron.
That's
It looks
true.
like you have no salary cap in Major League Baseball coming this offseason.
Hey, if Tom's tossing me touchdowns, I'll play for free. You just sign me up to play for free. That's it.
But you win the World Series, maybe we'll use you in December. How about that?
There we go. And Tom, I have one question for you, if you don't mind, if we got some time.
Of course.
For me, I still haven't, since I've been here with the Yankees, reached the World Series, won a World Series. So for me, going into the offseason every year, I have that motivation of, I don't want that feeling again of losing the ALDS. I don't want the feeling of losing Game 7 in the ALCS. The walk-off hit. I don't want to have that feeling again. So all offseason, I can kind of use that motivation to, it's 6 a.m. I don't want to get up. I don't want to work out. Well, guess what? Do you want to be walking up the field in Game 7 with, getting your butt kicked, or do you want to be celebrating out on that field Game 7? So, someone like you who's won multiple Super Bowls, and then you go into the offseason, like what's your mindset after you win to kind of push yourself to repeat and repeat and repeat?
I think, and I think you have these traits because I've seen it, but I've always felt like the best part of life for me has been learning, and the curiosity to understand that you don't, what you don't know versus what you do know is infinite, and to seek out people that can give you insight and tips into whether it's physical, mental, or emotional parts of you that need to be improved. And as it relates to being an athlete, what can I physically do better in terms of my training, in terms of, how did I feel this last season? How was my routine? How did I recover? Mentally, what are the things I'm advancing, my brain to continue for it to grow to, in the sport? How do I understand the game better? Because I'm sure, taking the field every night isn't about just reaction. You're trying to anticipate lots of different things happening. And emotionally, what are the things that I need to do so emotionally I'm at my best? In football, I'd say it's a lot easier because we only have 17 games now. You guys got 162 to get up for. So I think it's just a constant check-in with yourself of, what do I need to do this year? And knowing that your body's going to change, your priorities are going to, continue to evolve and change as you get older. Different things come up in your life that you've got to maybe spend more time and energy on than the previous year. And when you're young, sometimes the biggest decisions are, are we going to this steakhouse or this steakhouse, for dinner? And as you get older, you're thinking about some other things, that, you have family members and kids and parents and so forth that, it's your life. And, I just think you continuing to make great decisions like you have, you've proven that that's, again, what you do. So don't steer from, your ability to make the right decisions, and just prioritize the things that are most important to you. And you have a great work ethic. So I think all those things are going to, ultimately amount to what you want to in terms of your profession and your personal life. And it's going to keep changing and evolving. So we got to keep adapting and growing. And, we're all going to be dealt life circumstances. Nobody's immune from them. And you do the best you can do with the situations that are presented in front of you.
Oh, that's awesome right there. I appreciate that. Like like you said, you've been a good example of being able to adapt over the years. How many years you've been playing football and how the game's changed, and you still show up every single Sunday ready to go. It's been impressive to watch.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We're not going to take up too much of your time, but thank you so much for coming on. We're pulling for you, and good luck, and kick some ass.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Jim, thank you again. This was awesome. I appreciate it, fellas.
Aaron, thanks so much. We're pulling for you. Appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to tell you what Jesse Owens said when I was a little boy. He said something that you can use going forward. He said, you can have all the talent, all the pride, and all the courage in the world, but none of it means anything if you don't have the ability to endure. You've endured this entire process with the Yankees, and you've endured those losses. That will carry you through, and you will one day be on that victory platform standing there with that trophy in your hand.
Oh, wow, that's amazing right there. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, pal.
No,